Good morning. It is Monday, December 30th, and I think we got a heck of a week ahead of us. You know how, I'm going to go ahead and say this on here because I'm going to just separate video on my other socials, but I'm going to put it all in one here. You know how like when your kids are irresponsible with their electronics and things like that, maybe they're listening to whatever it is they're reading online or videos they're watching instead of listening to you, and eventually you get irritated and you just take their devices away from them, you ground them from the internet, whatever. I got a feeling that the universe, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, is about to do something very similar to us. With Pluto and Aquarius, I feel like 2025 is going to be a little bit like 2020 on steroids. We didn't listen when Saturn entered Aquarius. Saturn tried to sit us down and tried to tell us to do our work on ourselves. It told us to slow down, get our priorities straight, and we didn't do it. We fought against it. We leaned more into greed and hustle culture and all of that instead of taking that time to work on ourselves and spend some time figuring our own selves out. And now Pluto is in Aquarius, and Pluto likes to get a whole lot more intense than Saturn does. So we might be seeing some very interesting things over the next couple of years. And today's new moon in Capricorn is a really great time to plant those seeds, to make sure that you are using this time and this energy to work on yourself instead of fighting against the universe to try to continue to make money and be productive and stay in control of everything. Definitely during this new moon today, we want to plant those seeds in alignment with Saturn, the ruling planet of Capricorn, in Pisces. That is your shadow work. That is your spiritual work. That is working on your connection with spirit or God. It is your time to do your emotional work on your emotional boundaries. And today we need to be setting that those seeds to move forward with that. Now Pluto is also in a sextile to the North Node in Aries and a trine to the South Node. And we have Mars retrograde approaching that opposition to Pluto over the next few days. This is really giving me the energy of have the conversation with somebody. That trine to the South Node could have that wide open door to the past, a past relationship, a past friendship, things of that nature. Have the conversation. But we're having these conversations for the purposes of learning where we still need to have boundaries, learning where we still need to do some emotional work. Make sure that you're being realistic about things. You're not using this reemergence of the past or even something new. It could even be like something new that resembles the past. We're not using this to escape from doing our own work, okay? But definitely listen to what is being said, be realistic, don't hear what you want to hear. Okay, don't fall into that warm and fuzzies energy of Pisces, because Pisces can be very warm and fuzzy, and Saturn in Pisces is very tempting in that realm, okay? But yeah, right now we're really wanting to set those seeds for moving forward for ourselves on our emotional and spiritual journey. The moon actually doesn't make any more aspects today. Like that's the only aspect it makes until like 10 o'clock tonight Mountain Time, when it makes an inconjunct to Jupiter. Jupiter is retrograde. That's like making a shift in where you're going, letting go of one thing to move forward in another direction based on potentially a conversation, a confusing conversation at that. Maybe you're trying to have a real conversation. The other person's trying to keep everything all lighthearted, and there could even be like gossip, things of that nature that shift you a little bit. And then that sextile to Saturn immediately after that is that opportunity to do the work on yourself and do that spiritual work and that emotional work. So energy of the day, Knight of Cups. This is I always call him Captain Savo or Knight in Shining Armor. This is that warm and fuzzies of Pisces, right? That temptation almost of Pisces to say, hey, let's just run away. Things are hard. Let's just have some fun, right? A lot of people are off work right now. It's almost New Year's. We're just, hey, let's go have a good time, right? So that's like kind of the energy of the air. And then what we're focusing on is the Fool, that leap of faith. You know what? Have the conversation. Maybe not go see them in person. Like if you're anything like me, you have a hard time when you're like face to face with somebody. The boundaries get a little difficult. But at least have the conversation. You know that she is looking at that Knight of Cups. So have the conversation. Say what you got to say, right? But we're avoiding the Ace of Cups. We're not starting anything new relationship-wise. We're not trying to revive anything. Saturn creates endings, and sometimes you need to have that conversation. It's like a closure moment almost here. I actually did get the World for myself today, which is that ending the cycle. So this feels very much like a closure moment, but needing to have that conversation so that you can see where you're still facing trauma triggers, where you still need to do work for yourself, where maybe even helping you trust your intuition a little more. You know, you might already be feeling this coming, and maybe you get confirmation of your intuition that helps you see where you still need to do work there. The bottom of the deck is the Nine of Wands, so there is something about being guarded here. Maybe in your trauma, you've thrown the guard up a little too much. To the point where you haven't even been able to have a real honest conversation with somebody. So make sure that you're really thinking about that as well. It's good to have your boundaries, but not boundaries so high that you can't have an honest conversation with someone when it needs to be had. Okay, if your immediate response is to completely shut it down and not actually have a conversation, there's still something you need to work on there as well. So let's pull some clarifiers on our Knight of Cups here. Definitely some past energy here. We've got Five of Cups and Three of Wands. So there's this regret and this, this could be a person, it could be a situation that from the past that's like, I need to run back, I need to go back. I have regrets and I want to fix this. I want to move forward with them, So that is the energy of this regret of the past and wanting to do something about that regret. But it's coming in a little bit of an immature manner. It's not really coming in a way of, I truly want to do the work. I truly want to fix something, right? Because it feels like whoever this is or whatever the situation is, the work has not been done to be able to productively move forward with it, okay? Clarifiers for the Fool. We have a Six of Wands and a Ten of Swords. Boy, it's quite the interesting energy here. So, victory and an ending, right? It's almost like I said, closure. This feels very much like closure here. Taking that leap of faith, having the conversation, and seeing that you made the right choice in the ending, right? You made the right choice by having those boundaries. So again, victory in the ending, sometimes the ending's painful, but it has to happen, right? Sometimes we can sit here and think, oh my gosh, why did I do that? And then that person comes back around, or you go back around and you go, oh yeah, that's why I did it, right? Remember, exes are exes for a reason. But you might really be able to see the enjoyment and the victory and the celebration that you should have been having in trusting your intuition or trusting yourself and having those boundaries to end whatever it was that was ended, okay? Clarifiers for the Ace of Cups, please. Clarifiers for the Ace of Cups. Oops. Almost dropped the whole deck on that one. Clarifiers, we have Justice. Oh, I've got a few here. Ace of Wands and Page of Cups. Okay. We are avoiding the Ace of Cups. We are not starting a new relationship. We are not starting any kind of new emotional fulfillment in this situation, right? So justice, karmic justice, balancing the scales, getting what you needed in order to be able to move forward and close out this, right? And then this is very immature energy right here. This is very much, hey, let me come in and, get some, right? This is coming in very passionate, very hot and heavy, and Page of Cups can be very immature type of energy here. So there's some type of justice in this, some type of balancing out the scales, of you being shown that this wasn't right for you from the get-go anyway, because it wasn't mature, it wasn't grown, it wasn't what you needed to be stable in your life. And you're going to be able to see that. Like, again, this is very much closure type of energy. Bottom of the deck is the Hierophant. This could be somebody coming back in like, oh, let's try again, or an old situationship that comes back in trying to make a commitment or something along those lines. Really trust your intuition today. Make sure that you are being realistic, you're listening to what's being said, and you're having good boundaries and paying attention to where you still need to do that emotional or spiritual work moving forward.